destruction, death, heartbreak and anger. The current status quo in a region the UN fears is on the brink of all-out war. In Gaza, a third tower block crumbles under an Israeli air raid. Al-Sharak Tower is a major media hub in one of the city's busiest neighborhoods. Israel says Hamas's office and its main TV channel were the targets. Amid a heavy bombardment, as many as 10 senior figures in the Palestinian militant group have been killed. Palestinian health authorities, though, say civilians make up the majority of the dead.
This is a crime. A mother and her children were in this car. A barber and a shopkeeper were killed. They didn't hit a militant nor an official.
The attacks cutting off access on Gaza's main road. A dark cloud hanging over Eid celebrations. An increasing number of Gazans either homeless or in mourning. Hamas firing another avalanche of rockets deep into Israel, most aimed at Tel Aviv, others reaching the southern cities of Ashkelon and Sderot, where fatalities have been reported.
Why do they want to kill us? It's madness, this thing. This can't be. People lost their lives here.
Both sides vowing to step up attacks, Israel declaring it won't stop until there is complete quiet.
Yesterday I told those sons of darkness, the Hamas and Islamic Jihad terrorists, that their blood is forfeit. And a short while ago we eliminated top commanders of the Hamas General Staff, including the Gaza Brigade commander and other commanders. And this is just the beginning. We'll hit them like they've never dreamed possible.
The situation spiralling out of control. Global calls for an end to hostilities still unheard. Overnight, US President Joe Biden weighing in.
My expectation and hope is that this will be closing down sooner than later. But Israel has a right to defend itself when you have thousands of rockets flying into your territory.
Those comments drawing the ire of Palestinians. Hours earlier, the Palestinian leader delivering this message to Israel and Washington.
We are fed up. Go away from us. Leave us alone. We will stay like a thorn in your eyes. We will never leave our country. End your occupation today.
The death toll climbing. Both sides deep in mourning. An imminent resolution increasingly unlikely as a descent into further violence appears inevitable. Omer Dehen, SBS World News.
As the tit-for-tat attacks continue, Israel's president is now warning of a civil war between the country's Arab and Jewish citizens as violence escalates on the streets of ethnically mixed towns. Religious and political leaders appealed for calm after a synagogue and cars were set alight and mobs attacked shops, offices and hotels.
An angry mob pulls a driver from his car. The scene broadcast live on Israeli television. Before the channel cut back to the studio, it prompted President Reuven Rivlin to phone the station, appealing for the madness to stop. Some in the crowd justified the attack, saying the man had tried to ram Jewish Israelis marching along the seafront promenade. The driver was taken to hospital with serious injuries. His condition isn't known. Not far away, another incident. This time a Jewish man driving on the outskirts of Lod was stopped by a crowd of Arab citizens throwing stones. Eden Malzer says he told them he was an Arab, but his accent gave him away.
נסעתי בפול גז ברוורס, כמעט נכנסתי באנשים, במכוניות, לא ראיתי כלום. ראיתי מוות, מוות. אתה יודע מה זה מוות? אנשים קופצים עליי עם אבנים, זורקים עליי אבנים.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described the unrest as anarchy.
Nothing can justify it, and I will tell you more than that. Nothing can justify a lynching of Jews by Arabs, and nothing can justify a lynching of Arabs by Jews. We will not accept it.
Ethnic tensions had been simmering for weeks. At its heart, Jerusalem and a threat to evict Palestinian families from homes near the old city. It escalated into clashes over restrictions on Palestinians during Ramadan. That in turn was followed by clashes at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. Hamas fired hundreds of rockets into Israel. saying it was protecting Palestinians. Israel responded, raising fears of a full-blown war, such as in 2014.
There is, first, a very clear and absolute distinction between a terrorist organization, Hamas, that is indiscriminately raining down rockets, in fact, targeting civilians, and Israel's response defending itself.
The UN says the surge in violence demonstrates the importance of restarting the peace process.
I'm a true believer that we need to promote a two-state solution, living in peace and harmony between the two.
The civil unrest is some of the worst since the Second Intifada more than 20 years ago. Defence Minister Benny Gantz says it's no less dangerous than the rockets fired by Hamas. We mustn't win in Gaza and lose at home, he said.